I decided to come and check in on Garth before I head to Sweden, and this is the plot that we farmed for many years, at least 8 years, and now it's an awesome, super abundant garden. So let's chat with Garth. What's going on in the garden?
There's a few of them.
Yeah. So some serious abundance in the garden here.
I need one of those for dinner.
Oh yeah, you need a few of those for dinner.
A couple of days ago, right? They're taking over the yard.
So Garth, how is the garden going?
Well, as you can see, it's going pretty well.
Yeah.
We're just talking about how large and numerous those cucumbers are.
You got to get in there and pick some of those.
But, we've been feeding the neighborhood with greens.
Yep.
Looks like we're going to be feeding the neighborhood with cucumbers, and the peas and beans are coming along really
and
well.
You got lots of kale.
We got a kale factory.
Yeah. So you're sharing the workload from this with your neighbors across the alley. They got their own little access to get in the fence.
Yeah.
And have they been doing their fair share of work?
Yeah.
You're not the one that's doing all the work.
My claim to farming is watching you for several years. Jack has actually done lots of farming, so
good.
And they've got one of those situations of property that because of decking and the
there's no light.
Lack of light.
Yeah.
And then because we had this farm by you for so many years, it was set up as a farm, and it's full-on sunshine.
Yeah, and it's the soil was ready to go. And
so all those things were in place, and then obviously by look, it's a very large garden, and it shows you that you don't need much for a family.
No,
so
not
two
at all.
families. The neighbors are all coming by getting lettuce, and I got a feeling they'll be getting other crops. We got, I think, a dozen tomato plants, so we're going after Roger as the tomato king.
Ah, okay. Maybe I should send Roger over here to do a little diagnosis on you guys. Check up on you.
That's not going to be pretty. He's going to.
He'll come in and.
What are you doing?
Yeah, full lobotomy.
Yeah.
Wow. So how much time are you guys putting into this garden a week? Do you know? A couple hours a week or something, or?
Yeah, I'd say something like that. Yeah, it's easy because it's on a drip system, so we don't have to worry about
it's all timed
irrigation, and we haven't even put it on a timer, because if I'm away, Jack and Carol here, and we kind of figured out after the first few weeks that we didn't need to water it every day. So and you watch the rain, and so it's mostly picking food, which doesn't take very long, and just keeping on top of the weeds. So and the weed.
I mean, you guys are on top of the weeds, like it's.
Yeah, I think it's
good.
If you're on top of it, it's probably because we live here and didn't have to travel to the farms like you. You come up 15 minutes and you can get a row done. And
that's right.
I came by yesterday, and Jack and Carol were propping up the big plants with more sticks and a little bit of weeding. So yeah, you know what? I bet you a couple hours is about all it is. And
that's cool to think about that too, eh? Is like. That's really all it takes to feed, get pretty much all the vegetables you would need in a growing season, a couple hours a week.
Yeah.
Who can't do that?
And
you know
when
what I mean?
Set up and we were throwing in the compost, we had a couple of friends staying with us. So 5 people there's people who really like to do that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so the setup was the biggest part, but it wasn't huge. And I think, as you found out with commercial farming, you find out pretty quickly what worked, and maybe we don't need quite so many cucumbers next year.
That's it.
The guy that dropped by the other day that knew you and was asking, he had ideas of what we should grow because of his interest in health, right? So why don't you try this plant, because these are the benefits. So I think we've got an overabundance of potatoes, but in October and September when we eat potatoes, we might think, that's a good amount of potatoes, right? Now it seems like a lot, but so I think, not a lot of time, and probably gets even better once you learn to manage it better. But the weed control and the drip system,
that's been key.
Not only has it not been a lot of work weed-wise, we really haven't lost any plants. There's a couple things that didn't grow. We didn't do well with peppers, but
you still got time though.
We'll figure that out. Yeah. And but it's the nice thing that we didn't lose things. There's a few things going to seed, but we're staying on top of it. And I guess we'll learn about second plantings and all that stuff. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been labor of love, but
it's awesome.
Been great.
So this is the vegetable garden over here. I'm going to jump on this side of you. This is all the vegetable garden. So how many? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 beds, right?
Yep.
10 sort of like 18-foot beds or something like that. It's very similar to my garden actually at home. And
You designed it.
yeah, well, except I didn't do the raised beds. But so talk about what's going on here. You got some beautiful ornamental stuff.
And this was the farm went almost, I guess, up to the front of the carport.
Yeah, that's right.
So those flowers up front have been there for a few years, and this is all in 1 year. This went in April and early May of this year.
Yeah.
Again, the soil was good. Didn't have to till it because it was in pretty good shape, and because you had tarped it.
Yeah.
Over the winter, there wasn't a lot of weed action.
Yeah, like there's not a lot of weeds. Are you coming in here?
This has been a lot of weeding, and but once I got a proper weeding tool.
Yeah, you got yourself a stirrup hoe.
Yeah.
Yep.
But again, you come out for 15 minutes here, there you poke around, check on the flowers, pull a few weeds. And it's growing. I looked at some pictures the other day. Because all of these plants were put in late April, 1st of May. They were all this big, right?
Yeah.
And there were a lot of spaces. So as one of my neighbors said, the best way to combat weeds is to make sure there are plants growing everywhere.
That's
so
right.
The weeds really don't have a chance.
That's
so
right.
with putting the compost on top and filling it up with plants, it hasn't been too bad. And I'm watering mostly now with a rain barrel. And when the rain barrel gets low, a little bit of hose, but the rain barrel seems to be
good enough.
You know, you get rain every 10 days, you're okay.
Yeah.
And this is year 1, so next year it'll be even
for sure.
Even bigger.
Yeah.
And a lot of things are self-seeding. There's a lot of cosmos, and they're left over. They started in the front 3 years ago, and they're everywhere now. They're adding a lot to the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen with this little zone?
Well, I like this garden back here. I'm not sure what we're going to do. So I think this year that's enough for 1 year.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll be our medicinal plot next year. I don't know. Yeah, it's just going to try to keep the weeds down in it this year. There's some berries growing against the back fence, so we'll see how they do. And, it might be another seeding area, or it could be always we can put a tree there, or it might be. I don't think we need any more food production.
No, you're covered.
So there's a bench out in the front you see underneath the shade tree. Working to put a bench and some planters here. Yeah. So I guess that would be with the tree. Would that be another seeding area? Yeah. The nice thing about the benches is you can look and you can watch the flowers grow. And these are all plants that are xeriscape plants. Yep. And they're also attracting a lot of butterflies and lots of bees. So lovely. It's nice to sit out and watch them. All right, so there's a good story about what happens when we can leave a plot. They don't all go back to lawns. Sometimes they go back to awesome gardens like this, and that knowledge created on site gets passed on to the owners that take over. So hope you guys have found that helpful. If you like those videos, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button next to it, smash the like, and share the videos with your friends. All right guys, talk to you later.